So, one of the things that I think can help people understand attachment styles better is to think of them as orientations. We're not necessarily constantly in an
That's right.
anxious or an avoidant attachment style. And we could be secure most of the time, but then be completely dropped into an anxious attachment moment.
Right.
So there is some fluidity in these
A
things.
lot of fluidity.
And it's best, right,
Mhm.
right. And it's best to think of them as strategies, which is
Mhm.
what they are.
That's right.
As you were saying, with the data that I receive as a baby in terms of the attachment figures that I have available, their
Mhm.
level of responsiveness, their level of consistency, we take that in and we interpret that. We create our internal working models, right?
That's
These
right.
cognitive structures of
Right.
understanding ourselves. Are we worthy of love?
Mhm.
And understanding of others, are
Mhm.
others reliable?
Mhm.
Are others dependable?
Yeah.
And those things really translate into our attachment styles. But again, we can have different attachment styles
Mhm.
at different points of our life, in
Mhm.
different
Mhm.
relationships.
Right.
But often I do see, that even someone who's securely attached, they have a go-to,
Mhm.
insecure style.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, and often I mean, that's really well stated. This is where the cultural sort of, "What's your attachment style?" thing really irks me. It's
Yeah.
there's the definition of relational health and mental health, is not secure attachment. There are infinite scenarios where secure attachment doesn't serve you. Being in danger and nobody's available to you, I mean, it is one of the greatest things that we can do, is to dissociate from our cues so that we can function. That is not
Mhm.
pathological. That is adaptive.
Right, that's
Right.
adaptive.
And adaptiveness means flexibility of strategy based on situation. And so, it could be pretty agnostic about what is healthy or what is optimal. It's like, well, if you want to be technical, what's optimal is just flexibility. And
Yeah,
those
you
of us
know,
with
in
trauma or that did not have any reference point for security, we do often lack flexibility, and we could look down, through the DSM or um, through how we conceptualize psychopathology, that we get the further we get on a scale of mental sickness, we may be looking at, or one way to say it is, we're looking at rigidity of strategy. We're looking at a lack of flexibility. That somebody who is constantly avoiding and not tuning into their internal data, and cannot do it at all, that person can be very dangerous. Um, they aren't reading situation. They're not in touch with reality. Um, Maybe what we consider to be even more dangerous are folks that are not reading external reality at all, but only referencing their internal data. I mean, we think of this as narcissism, and can go all
right.
the way to sociopathy or psychopathology. Uh, and uh, so the uh, the idea of flexibility, I think, instead of strategy, we could also just say working model. That we have
Yeah.
different working models that, and this is Bowlby's idea, was like, yeah, we get models of who we are and how the world responds to us. And identity thing, and even the definition of love. Are we worthy of love? And I think, well, what is that? Like a baby doesn't know what love is. Like that's a concept and a vague one at best, even for adults. So it's what is responded to. That's it. It's like if I'm upset, if I have these organic experiences in me, how are they treated?